Today we embark on a journey to demand debt cancellation, a journey that requires collective action, unity, and perseverance.
Welcome to Zambia Today Television, where stories unfold. Today, we dive into a crucial issue that affects not only Zambia but many developing nations worldwide, the call for total debt cancellation.
Are we capable of recognizing His face in Jesus and in our brothers and sisters?
Pope Francis has been at the forefront of advocating for global economic justice, urging world leaders to cancel the crippling debts that weigh heavily on developing nations. He emphasizes that debt forgiveness is not merely an economic decision, it is a moral obligation, a path to peace, justice, and dignity.
A journey to demand debt cancellation, a journey that requires collective action, unity, and perseverance.
Here in Zambia, the Zambia Conference of Catholic Bishops, ZCCB, has joined the campaign, intensifying their advocacy as we approach the 2025 Jubilee Year. The bishops have made a powerful plea, highlighting the devastating impact of unsustainable debt on our economy, healthcare, education, and social services.
Let us look at the global context and Pope Francis' message. As we gather here, it is imperative to acknowledge the global launch of the Jubilee Year 2025 by Pope Francis, which calls for a renewed commitment to economic justice, debt forgiveness worldwide. This initiative aligns with our mission, drawing on all the Jubilee traditions, deep historical and religious roots. We urge the cancellation of unjust debts that weigh heavily on the shoulders of the most vulnerable populations. Such actions will not only provide immediate relief, but also allow for investment in vital sectors such as education, healthcare, and sustainable development. The Holy Father, Pope Francis, recently emphasized the moral and ethical necessity of addressing global inequalities and relieving debt burdens that stifle the growth and well-being of developing nations. By aligning our campaign with these global efforts and the Pope's message, we not only share in a worldwide movement, but also reinforce the moral agents of our cause. The Jubilee Year Debt Cancellation Campaign is built on the principles of economic justice, transparency, and accountability. We believe that it is morally justifiable to demand debt cancellation, given the historical and systematic injustices that have contributed to Zambia's debt crisis. What are the significance of debt cancellation? 1, economic relief. Debt cancellation can provide much-needed relief for countries burdened by overwhelming debt obligations, freeing up resources for essential services such as education, healthcare, and infrastructure. 2, poverty reduction. By alleviating debt pressures, countries can prioritize poverty alleviation initiatives, helping vulnerable populations improve their living conditions. 3. Sustainable development. Cancelling debt can enable nations to invest in sustainable development projects that boost economic growth and environmental sustainability. 4. Moral responsibility. Many argue that debt cancellation is a moral imperative, especially when debts are viewed as unjust or predatory, hindering development rather than supporting it.
The bishops have also called on international financial institutions, creditor nations, and global policymakers to heed Pope Francis' call and take decisive action. They stress that cancelling unjust debts is not an act of charity, but a long overdue step toward fairness and sustainable development.
We still, and I'm sure if new, are asking, why debt cancellation again? We acknowledge that several nations' debts, including those of our nation Zambia, were forgiven merely 20 years ago. Yet, here we find ourselves once again at the precipice, seeking for further debt relief. This recurring financial distress underscores not only the enduring inequalities within the global financial architecture, but also highlights our own shortcomings in managing public resources effectively. The international system often places disproportionate burdens on developing economies through unfavorable loan conditions and trade imbalances. Consequently, we must confront and rectify our internal issues of fiscal mismanagement and lack of accountability. Establishing robust systems for transparency and public involvement in debt management is imperative to avoid repeating past mistakes and to ensure that relief obtained now leads to lasting economic stability and development. Therefore, this calls for accountability and transparency. It follows then that as we call for renewal and resetting our economies, it is essential to implement rigorous transparency standards.
With economic hardships mounting and social inequalities widening, the push for debt cancellation has never been more urgent. But will world leaders listen? Will Zambia and other developing nations get the financial relief they desperately need?
Que presente suas altezas aos presidentes e primeiros ministros de que a natureza ela continua dando demonstrações.
As we move closer to the 2025 Jubilee Year, the momentum for debt cancellation continues to grow. We will keep you updated on every development in this crucial campaign. What are your thoughts on this issue? Should world leaders cancel Zambia's debt? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Zambia Today Television for more breaking news where stories unfold.
We advocate for debt cancellation. We are also calling for accountability and transparency. Therefore, to qualify for debt cancellation, countries should meet the following conditions centered on accountability and transparency. Our governments must commit to 1. Parliamentary oversight. Enhance the role of Parliament in debt acquisition process. Before any new loans are contracted, Parliament should rigorously review and approve these agreements. This oversight should include detailed assessments of the terms of the debt and its alignment with national development goals.